Welcome to today's deep dive. So our mission today is to unpack this brief but honestly super fascinating excerpt from a source that, well, it kind of completely flips the script on how we learn about finance. We are looking at a text called The Art of Wealth and Financial Mastery.
Right. And I mean, while that title definitely sounds like a standard, heavy finance textbook, the hook here is totally unexpected. It's actually structured entirely as a learn English through story exercise.
Which is wild.
Yeah, it really is.
Because usually when you pick up a language learning guide, you expect the absolute basics, right? Like, where is the library or the apple is red?
Oh, definitely. You expect survival and basic navigation. You don't expect deep financial philosophy.
Exactly. So today we are going to explore both the core wealth mindset presented in the text and, why this bizarre narrative vehicle actually works so well.
Yeah, and to really understand why this mashup is so effective, we first have to look at the financial premise it's trying to teach, which is making your money work for you.
Okay, let's unpack this a bit. I know you listening are probably already familiar with the concept of passive income, but the way this text frames it, it just feels different.
How so?
Well, it's less about just blindly throwing money into an index fund and more like, I don't know, writing a piece of software. Like you put in the heavy coding up front, but once it's launched, it just runs in the background and generates value while you sleep. It's almost like cloning yourself.
What's fascinating here is that software automation is actually a perfect way to visualize it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you write the code once and it scales without your physical presence, right?
Right.
And the text emphasizes that true wealth mastery is exactly that psychological shift. It is moving away from the default human setting of trading hours for dollars and instead moving toward building these autonomous systems.
Okay, I get that, but I do still have a fundamental hang-up here.
Go ahead.
Why combine the art of wealth with learn English through story? I mean, doesn't mixing basic language acquisition with complex financial mastery just, dilute both of them?
It seems like it would, yeah.
Right. It feels like trying to teach someone calculus while they're still figuring out how to count to 10. It really just shouldn't work.
I totally see why it feels like a mismatch. But if we look at how human beings actually encode new information, the narrative format isn't a limitation here at all. It's actually a forced cognitive filter.
A cognitive filter? What do you mean by that?
Well, think about the usual barrier to entry in traditional finance. It relies heavily on abstraction.
Oh, absolutely. Like asset allocation, amortization, liquidity ratios.
Exactly. It's just this massive wall of abstract jargon. And honestly, it is often designed to keep people out.
Yeah, it really feels that way sometimes.
And that jargon allows financial professionals to sound really smart without always having to explain the underlying mechanics clearly. But when an author's primary constraint is teaching English to a beginner, well, they're completely stripped of that vocabulary.
Oh, wow. Yeah, because they literally can't hide behind terms like liquidity ratios.
Right. They are forced to explain the actual mechanism of the financial concept using the most accessible tool we have, which is just a simple story.
So you have to make the mechanics of wealth as natural and, easy to follow as a basic plot line. You have to show it rather than just explain it.
Yes, you show it organically. Take compound interest, for example.
Okay, yeah, that is a classic one.
Right, so rather than throwing a mathematical formula at the reader or talking about exponential algorithmic growth, the story just simply follows a character who plants a single apple seed.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, he waters it and it grows into a tree. Then he takes the seeds from those apples, plants them, and just repeats the process. A few chapters later, without ever using the word compounding, that character owns a self-sustaining orchard.
That makes so much sense. I mean, the reader inherently understands the mechanic of compounding because they literally just watch the orchard grow over time in the narrative.
Exactly. It proves that the mechanics of wealth aren't inherently complicated. They've just been cloaked in this really complicated language by the financial industry.
And I guess that's why even a highly informed audience can get immense value from a beginner's text like this.
Yeah, 100%. This cognitive distillation forces you to confront the raw logic of your own financial habits.
Right.
When you strip away all that complex terminology, you have to ask yourself, are you actually planting an orchard or are you just picking apples for someone else's harvest? The simplicity makes it impossible to over-intellectualize your way out of the answer.
That is such a great way to put it. So what does this all mean for you listening right now? I think it is a really powerful reminder that mastering wealth doesn't require suffering through dense, thousand-page textbooks or having a finance degree.
Not at all.
Sometimes the most profound lessons on making your money work for you are just hidden in the simplest story-driven formats. It strips away all that noise and leaves you with the core mechanics of how wealth is actually built.
Which leaves you with a pretty interesting question to chew on today. If the profound, often intimidating principles of financial mastery could be effectively absorbed through a simple story meant for learning basic English, well, what other complex life skills are you currently overcomplicating in your own life?